SBC Media.
Welcome to the iGaming Daily Podcast, analysing the news from the betting and gaming industry all over the globe, supported by Optimove, the #1 CRM marketing solution for the iGaming market.
Good morning and welcome to the iGaming Daily, brought to you by Optimove, the #1 CRM marketing solution for the iGaming market. And today, off the back of a huge announcement by SBC, we are joined by the SBC founder, Rasmus Sojmark. Rasmus, how are you? What a couple of days, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm just managed to get to the office after a long discussion this morning for hours with our partners in this amazing charity initiative we just launched today, which I will reveal in a second when we're going to dig into it. So yeah, it's been a very busy morning, and now I'm here to talk to you about it. So you're the first one I speak to, so that's quite exciting. It's like I'm a little kid wanting to start talking about this, because we've been waiting for month to talk about this.
Fantastic. It's a privilege to have you on and to talk about such a cool project and such an important project as well. We are, of course, talking about the SBC Legends charity match. And to let our listeners peek behind the curtain of SBC just a bit, about 18 months ago, you kind of mentioned this to me. And back then it hadn't really planted yet. It was just an idea. I wasn't sure what to expect. But when I saw this list of players, this portfolio of players and these stars, some of the accolades that are coming to this event, yeah, I'm just awestruck, because we have some brilliant, brilliant players. But before we go into them players a little bit and break down who we've got coming to the event, Raz, what inspired this?
See, you don't even know where to start, because there's so many cool things to talk about. Huh?
There really are.
I think just what inspired me, maybe for a bit of context, I can mention that the Legends charity game is what we call a highly anticipated match, because we've been working on it for a long time, but it's essentially a charity game of football where we are having the world legends play the Portugal legends in Lisbon. Yep. So we are working with the FPF, the Portuguese Football Federation, to work with us around the Portuguese team. And then the World Legends is represented by players from all across the world, from Latin America, Brazil, Europe, etc. What we wanted to do was to raise money for charity and find an event that could support that. And a football game at this magnitude was just an incredible opportunity. And since we had our main event in Lisbon, we looked at finding a venue with Benfica or Sporting Lisbon. Now that all came to fruition after months of work. So now the Legends charity game is here, which, as mentioned, is a huge game of football, Monday, 15 September in Lisbon, where World Legends will play the Portuguese Legends to raise over €1 million in charity. That's about the game. So what inspired me to do this is, as a kid, I've been playing football since I was 5 years old, right? I followed football. I love football, very passionate. Me growing up is obviously watching a lot of the players that played back in the 80s and 90s and into 2000 as well, of course. They were idols. They were stars. I wanted to be a professional footballer myself. But work and military, calling and all this postponed that. Not saying I even had the abilities to do that or capabilities, but I did play for many years. But what I also did was I was an avid fan of computer games. So back then, the random football games you could play on the consoles and stuff, I was very much into Championship Manager. So when I played Championship Manager in late 90s, I was building teams with the likes of Peter Schmeichel, Gaisca Mendieta, George Hagi, Del Piero, legends that I just wanted in my team because they were the best players, right? So much of my football knowledge came from understanding all players across all teams, right? By being so passionate. And you were playing this game for days in a row, for weeks, no sleep. It just got you so in there. And if you did well, you got mentioned in the sports media like Marca, like Gazzetta dello Sport, all these publications that were the big sports media. And the reason I'm mentioning them is because not just the game, the players, we also have big coverage by the sports media such as Marca and Gazzetta. So coming back to that, there's a culmination of a lot of things here. So with the game itself, obviously, you started playing FIFA and FIFA as well. You see now today FIFA, which is FC, of course, is, some of the best players in the game are the legends. These legends, as mentioned, Schmeichel, Hadji, Ronaldinho, etc. Right? And kids, are playing with these players, maybe not even have had a chance to watch them play. So what better way of finding a way to hook something like Championship Manager, the passion for football, people playing today with a game of FIFA, different elements here, right? Together. But before I come to that, I just want to continue a bit on my sort of path in regards to the inspiration. Yeah. And I think what we've done with SBC as well over the years is when we started the events, we always tied it in with some professional footballer, some legend of the game, like Ruud Gullit, Mendieta, Marseille Desailly. We had Clarence Seedorf, Figo, all these guys, right? We had at our SBC events, either hosting the awards, doing keynote speeches and stuff like that to, as we are passionate, you and me, Joe, and the rest of SBC, we know our audience are passionate about football. So if you bring them the football legends, it's just like we enhance the experience. So we've done that. And now I think all of those things are said. Our passion for football, early days playing football, our dreams of professional football, into playing the games over many years, from evolution of Championship Manager to playing FIFA games, to us as a business hosting these legends. Could you get them into a charity event where they would play against one another for 60,000 fans? Well, here you have it. We've done that. Or we're doing that. Let's put it like that. So we are exactly doing that, bringing all these things that we worked on for years and the passion together to share this with the world on Monday, 15 September in Lisbon. So yeah, that's my sort of inspiration to try and create something that big, and as well, of course, not just getting the players involved, but show our sort of keenness of raising money for charity, which in this case is driven by support of communities and families that are impacted by conflict and war around the world. And as both you and I know, every day we turn on the TV, there's a war here being up in the news again. There's another conflict that is erupting, and there's other things. Right? It's not an easy world we live in, and I think any chance we have as a company to support charity work, to maybe in some way do something, we obviously like to do our part. And I think with this game, we have a chance to do that.
Yeah, it truly is a really important cause, and at a vital time too. And I should let you know as well that I was a big Football Manager player back in the day. Two players I would always try and bring into my Man United team were Deco and Ricardo Quaresma. So, and they're both on the list.
Can I just remind you, Joe? Chelsea just won the FIFA World Cup. You know that, right?
Oh, old news. The big football news is the SBC Legends charity match. We've forgotten about that already. But two players I would always sign were Deco and Quaresma. So I'm excited to see them play. And some Man United royalty in there too. Nani, Schmeichel. Any players on that list? Obviously all the players. But yeah, talk us, if you can, through. There's so many players, but do your best.
Yeah, I mean, we can start. Let's look at Portugal. The reason Portugal makes a lot of sense is obviously we got a Portuguese team that over a few decades now has been probably the most ambitious and quality-led team that has in some cases met its expectations. They won the European Championship. They beat Spain recently, of course, came back from 2-0 down in the UEFA Nations League. 4 players in the Paris Saint-Germain team that won the Champions League. So it's the Portuguese football is on fire, but it's been there for years, many years, right? And we know players like Figo, Deco, or even Rui Costa and all these guys, right? They're legends. So what we wanted to do with the game in Portugal, working very closely in association with the Portuguese Football Federation, and appealing to people in and around Portugal and Lisbon, it's great to have the Portuguese team as one of them, right? Because they are also, Joe, hosting the World Cup in 2030, right? So the fact that the match is in Portugal means that, in Portugal and the World Cup is in 2030 means that this Legends charity game already now is planned for the next 4 years. So maybe part of the narrative and the reason for doing this as well is, of course, that it's a good context, because not only can we host these guys, create the ultimate experience, we also have the charity work that we are so passionate about supporting in any way we can, and build that out into a 4-year story in the lead up to World Cup 2030, right?
Yeah,
Which
definitely.
is part of this.
It's a good narrative.
Yeah, and back to the players. Sorry, I know you asked me about the players. So on the Portuguese side, we have goalkeepers like Beto and Victor Baia. Defense, we have likes of Contrao. We got Boswinga. We're still playing a bit on Pepe, should come in. We got Figo, we got Deco, we got Manish, we got Simao, we have Postiga, Almeida, Quaresma, as you mentioned. Like we got 20 very strong players from the Portuguese side. And the team will be captained by Luis Figo. So, he will have a chance to face off on some of the world legends. So if we go to the world legends.
If I could, on the Portugal side of things as well, like obviously you mentioned building towards them hosting the World Cup in 2030. A lot of this team, and I think this is the legacy of Portuguese football that you talk about, a lot of this team that we'll see on the 15th of September were part of the Euro 2004 team that was in Portugal, and they got to the final. Yeah, a lot of this squad were a big part of that squad. So, yeah, great to see a little bit of a historic nod there to the legacy of Portuguese football. But
you shouldn't forget, do you remember what happened in 2004?
Yes. I was in Portugal for the Euros. It was it was crazy. They lost to Greece in the final, right?
Oh, they lost to Greece. Who was captaining the Greek side, by the way? Do you remember?
Oh, I can't quite remember. Go on.
Okay, I'll tell you. That was Karagounis, and Georgios Karagounis is playing in the World Legends team.
Wow.
So he's now going to face off against a lot of the people he beat in the 2004 final, and I'm sure some of the Portugal players are going to put in some hard tackles there, right? So there's also a good history and connection there, which means that the World Legends team is now trying to bring the passion into many countries across Europe and Latin America by fielding players from different countries, which I can talk about now if you let me.
Well, let's go to a quick ad break, and then let's introduce the World 11, a decorated World 11.
SBC Leaders connects the gambling industry's top-tier operators and associations to share the best ideas, collaborate on solving the biggest issues, and push innovation throughout the betting and gaming industry. If you're an operator and want to join the discussion, visit sbcleaders.com for more information.
Thanks again for joining us, and let's waste no time in going straight into that World 11 because there are some huge names in this team.
Yeah, as we talked about, Karagounis is going to face, some Portuguese revenge, I'm sure.
I love that story, by the way. I love that story for this game. That's brilliant.
I can tell you that the team is managed by Peter Schmeichel, and the other one is Diego Lugano, who was captaining the Uruguayan team to the 2012 Copa America's success. So he's a huge player and he's an amazing defender, but he had a recent injury. So instead of playing, he's now assistant manager for Peter Schmeichel. In defense, we got the likes of Cafu is playing, who obviously captained the Brazilian team to World Cup. I think it was 2002. He was the captain of the Brazilian World Cup team winners.
94 as well. I think he won the World Cup. I think he's two-time.
Yeah, but he wasn't captain back then, but he was definitely playing. You're right. He won it twice. We have Javier Zanetti from Argentina. I think most people know him as well. We have Karen Berth from France. He's obviously defensive midfielder, you can argue as well. There's a lot of these guys. We also have Petri Zevra is now joined in.
Oh, Champions League winner with Man United in there. 2 Champions League winners with Man United. There you go. There's a Brazilian midfielder.
I don't know, when you talk about you talk about Man United, it's probably worth mentioning we got Edwin van der Sar in goal now.
Wow.
So
so
there you go, another United legend.
There is an attacking midfielder that definitely warrants a mention as well that I think will grab a few headlines. Famously knocked Chelsea out the Champions League one time, if I do remember.
I think you're referring to the face-off between Figo, Real Madrid, and Ronaldinho, Barcelona, right?
Ronaldinho, indeed. What a name.
So yeah, Ronaldinho is going to play and represent Brazil alongside Cafu. Obviously, amazing to have managed to work with Ronaldinho to come and join. Usually when he plays in games, you have a sold-out stadium, so we know he's got a wide appeal. He's a huge name. He's got a great personality, so we're just honored to have him represent the World Legends team. If you go back to midfield, as I said, you got Karagounis from Greece. We also got a Slovakian touch on it. You remember Mr. Mohawk from Napoli, Marek Hamsik is playing.
Hamsik, yeah.
We have my good friend Gaizka Mendieta, who in my view, obviously, he was in 2 Champions League finals with Valencia. He was sold to Lazio, most expensive player in the world, I think in 2001. He's representing Spain. You got Yuri Jukayev, who's representing France, won the World Cup as well, and obviously also the CEO of the FIFA Foundation today, close to Infantino. You have, in my book, one of the greatest of all time, George Hagi, who is representing Romania. And obviously he's an amazing player as well, right? So additional players, we got Henrik Larsson in attack. We also have Javier Saviola from Argentina, and he used to play in Benfica. So obviously many Portuguese fans will love to see him back, and I'm sure many Sporting Lisbon fans will hate to see him back. So whenever you make a choice, if you're going to go and watch the game, it's just share that hate, share that love, and just raise some money for the charity. We also have it's not confirmed yet, but we hopefully have Del Piero coming in. And we have a couple of other Spanish players which are absolutely world class, but I need to wait a bit to reveal these guys, to be honest.
What we're getting here is we're getting absolute legends at their club as well. I think Marek Hamsik I don't think any player has played more for Napoli than Marek Hamsik. He's loved in Napoli, and he's a Slovakia legend too. I think captained them to their first World Cup. And obviously, Henrik Larsson, we should potentially have a Paul Mills cameo here to laud Henrik Larsson.
There's quite a bit of Rangers Celtic in the office based on the Scottish colleagues we have, But I forgot to mention, actually, there's a couple of key players like Leonardo Bonucci, who won the European Championship recently with Italy.
Yeah.
We have representing Bulgaria, we got Krasimir Balakov, who recently were the national team manager from Bulgaria as well.
Nice. And how important was it? I noticed a real global reach with these players. There's, it's obviously the Portugal 11 is Portuguese, but away from that, we're touching every part of the globe, really. How important was that for you to kind of get such a global footprint with these players?
But I think one is to talk to them about the spectacle, the whole event we're doing here, because it isn't just a game. It's an event. It's a celebration of football, with some of these legends over decades. And if you have a celebration of football, you need a representation that goes across the world. I mean, football 100%. Is everywhere, anywhere, right? So we try to do that by getting some of the best players over the years. And obviously, it's good to have reach by getting people and players involved from different parts of the world. Can we get countries behind the players and find it interesting, which we hope? Then obviously we got a good reach, and that should, as a result, hopefully help build up the charities and raise way more than $1 million. And we have something more to build on for the next 4 years, where we want to continue this trend of supporting communities and families, because we know there's so many out there that doesn't have it as easy as we have. And I think the players also, when we spoke to them, resonated really well with this. So probably you will find a lot of quotes coming out from the players why they're participating. And I think every quote literally has a very emotional charity touch to them, because the players do realize that they are ambassadors often for such causes, and they would happily help whenever they can.
Yeah, definitely. And Raz, I wanted to ask you, obviously, plan and help build events that are the biggest events in gaming of different niches, B2B conferences. How different was it building this and planning this?
Obviously, we work in B2B. So what we do is facilitate events and media as a big group now, with almost like up to close to 150 people, right? So what we do is we make sure that we bridge the gap between sellers and buyers in the B2B space. You got suppliers, operators, affiliates, regulators, associations, other stakeholders, right? So we're the platform. In a way, you can argue as an event organizer, you're like Switzerland. You're a bit neutral in the middle. Your job is to give everyone a great, comfortable experience where people want to buy and sell in the context of providing value for everyone, right? So that concept is quite universal, right? If you believe in it and you believe you can organize something great and you have the right people in the team, like such as you, Joe, and everyone else sitting around and participating in what we do, you have more confidence that you can take it further, right? So taking it into a B2C space for, an event that is pretty much direct to consumers, where it's not about business to business, is different, right? And when you work with celebrities, like we also have the Infinity we built, which is our more music-based brand that we tie in with our events to create music experiences that has gone down exceptionally well. Working with celebrities does require contractual work and image rights and sign-offs on this and that, because a lot of players are getting taken advantage of in terms of using their image and their profile to sell products. So unless the players are in a position to contractually have that covered, they push back a bit. So you need to have that very clear. And we obviously had some experience there. So that helped us to start working with the players. Working with stadiums like Benfica, Sporting Lisbon, working with the FPF, we used to work with big partners and associations and that. And I think SBC, in this case, obviously, remember it's our group company Sport Global, which is used for this. So SBC, obviously, we're quite tight, but Sport Global is more sports entertainment in this case. It's about the trust and credibility I think we built. And I don't think many in the industry would second the fact that SBC has a great business, great reputation, and a great set of people that will always look after them. So when you do something new, you immediately get support. That gives you the trust and confidence you can bring it further. And I think that those different things just made it easier to take our product into a space like a game of football on a high level in terms of bringing so many stars together, putting elements in like charity, obviously liaising with the charities, make sure they know how it works. And that is then supported further by support from groups like Ringia Sports Media, Abola in Portugal. It's supported by Marke, like Sept, big media groups as well. And we are also, for that reason, we're working on the broadcast. So SBC will create the broadcast, and it will be broadcasted in Portugal on live TV. It will be broadcast in Brazil. It will be in many other European countries, which we're working on at the moment. So people that aren't at the game can still watch it, right? So it's become quite a big spectacle here. It's almost like any other big Premier League game, and the external cover we have on it is actually similar to what you use in the Champions League final. So we are talking about all these cameras, spider cameras, all these things to really capture all the moments. So it's quite a big setup we're working on here. So, but again, I couldn't do it without the team I have at SBC and Sport Global. Absolutely not. So hats off to the hard work and how they made the change to work on something else. It's quite big.
Yeah, definitely, Raz. And I can't let you go. I've only got a couple more. We are running into extra time on this podcast, but I've got a couple more. I can't let you go without asking. This is the kickoff to the greatest show in gaming. How are preparations going? You mentioned Infinity earlier. There was a lot of excitement in the Manchester office around some of the DJs involved, and Joel Corry too. A little British representation on the DJ deck. So that's pretty exciting. But how are preparations going for the greatest show in gaming that will follow this spectacular football match?
Well, it's such a great way of presenting it as the greatest show in gaming, because that event in itself is certainly, in my view, and I think many others, the greatest show in gaming, by combining so many different experiences into something meaningful. And as I alluded to a bit earlier in terms of how we can take one way of doing events to another is by understanding how the fundamentals or the foundation of an event works. And obviously an event is about making sure people you are asking to come to the event are happy, they feel appreciated, and the more they like to be there, the more they want to be there and the longer they want to stay. So followed by the Legends Charity Game is our core event. It's obviously the SBC Summit, and that takes place Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Tuesday 16, Wednesday 17, and Thursday 18 of September, right? What we have there is an incredible setup, right? We have the whole exhibition with 700 exhibitors and sponsors as well. We have next to that, we have the Mio Arena, where you host the super stage. We got academies behind it. We got about 8 conference stages. We got 132,000 square meter of space. It's massive. It's by measurement the biggest show in gaming. Now, we aren't focusing too wide on quantity. We want quality people there. So we're looking at about 30,000 people. I think there'll probably be more. You also just have an event the day before, which is 60,000, right? So we're bringing many people to Lisbon that week. But when you started off on a Tuesday, what people experience is when they arrive, they'll actually get to see the continuation of the Legends charity game, because we are bringing all the legends down to the super stage and having a post-event press talk at 12:30. That will be hosted by Kirsty Gallagher, and people get to see some of the world legends, some of the Portugal legends on stage. And Kirsty Gallagher would she will manage like a Q&A between audience and press to the players for like an hour. But the idea is we expect many thousand people there, and they have the chance to take players of the pictures, see them together, which they've probably never seen before, or at least not for many, many years. So that's the start. And next to that, obviously, we got Gary Vaynerchuk, Randy Zuckerberg is being announced soon, if not already announced. And we have many other cool things happening, right? So there's so much there. But on the business side, it's about suppliers, operators, affiliates, as a regular association, all the stakeholders coming together in the exhibition, the floor, finding the right space to sit down, talk, get to the booth, connect with your clients. All around that, there is just no shortage of what we offer, because people don't have to leave the venue. They just go to the middle, they go to the top of the venues, and there's food, complimentary food for everyone, different taste, healthy, maybe not so healthy, live music, enjoying the nice weather of Lisbon, hopefully no rain this year. You get parts of iGaming, sports betting, payments, affiliates, all these are in different sectors around the venue. So business-wise, there's no excuse for anyone not to be there. I mean, like, I've been in the industry for 20 plus years. If I see an event, and there's only a few of them in the industry at this scale, and with that offering, SBC is offering something completely unique by giving you that much complimentary access and offering. Like, no one has ever done that before. We have done it for years, but now we're just scaling it. And with scale things all become a little bit more complicated. But as I said, we got an amazing team. So we have enough people that would help execute that smoothly, right? So people can expect a lot of scale from last year, a lot more experiences. You alluded to the Infinity. So we got 2 sets. We got Tuesday evening, we got Joel Corry and Imanbek DJing at the opening party. And on the Thursday, after the SBC Awards, we have an insane push on Timmy Trumpet and Alok, 2 of the biggest DJs in the world. They would smash it out from like midnight until like 4 a.m. But since we are in the UK now, I think, I don't know if you watched Britain's Got Talent.
Yeah.
You did?
Of course. Yeah, of course.
Okay, who came in second then? Tell me. Who was literal? Who should have won? Who should have won?
Go on, remind me.
Okay, I'll remind you. So there was a group called the Blackouts, right?
Yeah.
So the Blackouts got a golden buzzer, which means that they go straight to the semifinal. Only very few of these. So the judges loved it. The Blackouts had this amazing show, and they got straight to the semifinal. In the semifinal, they also were one of 2 free acts that got a golden buzzer, went straight to the final. Now, they were among the 2 last. There was them and a magician, and Blackouts came in second. I think they should have won. Now, when I saw them on TV, I just thought, okay, they fit really well. So we actually booked the Blackouts to come and do the entertainment at the SBC Awards before the Infinity kicks off, and also do 1 act more to kick off the Infinity. So you also got a bit of Britain's Got Talent in Lisbon.
Nice. And they're like an LED dance show, right? Like just electrifying LED dance show.
But on a whole level,
perfect,
it's incredible what show they're putting on, right? It's amazing. But I think back to the greatest show in gaming, it's so many things. But at the end of the day, what's core is the right people are there to do business. It's all about business ROI in the end. Any company sending people to an event has the right to expect some sort of return on investment, because there's travel, flights, hotels, time out of the office. We get that. That's what is at the core. What we do around it is making everyone feel comfortable, feel like there's a place they belong. you don't mind spending 3-4 days there, and the company don't mind because they know your time there is well spent and you're looked after and we are looking after you, and the business you'll bring back is going to be certainly justifying that. That is in a core what the greatest show in gaming is about. It's putting business at the forefront, but creating great things around it. And at the core, it become the greatest show in gaming, right?
Brilliant. Yeah, definitely the best of both worlds for sure. You've done a good job of summing up something there's so much to in a short space of time.
Pieces,
so I appreciate
right?
that.
It's not easy to encapsulate that in an interview or by writing content or whatever. It's people really just have to go to the website, spend a minute, two there, look around, and they'll see, wow, all these elements. Like, I never seen that at any event before. I'm sure there are a few other events out there, but it is really the connection of so many core elements to make an experience complete, right? That's the narrative and story behind the greatest show in gaming.
Yeah, and even just reading the speaker interviews on iGaming Expert, SBC News, you get a feel of just the high caliber of people that are there and just the insights that are going to be shared.
100%. But what I'll add, Joe, which I think is key, and that's why I'm so happy today that we made the big announcement to the whole industry and the whole world about Legends charity game, is that you definitely have to make sure that you are going to be in Lisbon on Monday. Don't arrive Tuesday morning. Yep. Be there on Monday to ensure that you are going to participate in the Legends charity game. Help us raise more than $1 million by getting your ticket, connecting with the event. If you want to sponsor as a business, you can contact me anytime. We need your help. The communities and families around the world impacted by conflict and war, they need your help. And this is an amazing opportunity to show that you care and that you like to help.
Brilliant. Well, I was going to ask you to let people know how they can get involved, but you've done that perfectly. You've signed off. The consummate professional. You knew the final question was coming before it came. So, Raz, thank you so much for your time. Incredibly exciting period ahead, and I can't wait to watch this football match. Who's going to win? Can you give me? I know you mentioned you're Switzerland, you're neutral, but who's going to win?
Oh yes, I am the neutral Switzerland. It's a good question. I really think the Portuguese team is as strong as it gets. Obviously, Ronaldo's still playing, which means that he's not able to join these things. I'm not sure he would, but Figo is strong, super strong. The rest of the team is amazing. It's going to be hard to beat them at the home pitch, right?
Yeah, agreed.
I think World Legends, if you get Ronaldinho playing, some good combinations, they click a bit early. I think it will be very close. And the match is not going into extra time. It will go straight into penalties if it's a draw. So there will be a winner. There is going to be a big trophy celebration, confetti, fireworks, and all that, of course. There will also be an amazing halftime show, which we are not going to reveal yet. It will be like being at the Super Bowl. Okay, that's maybe a big comparison, but it's going to be similar to one of those big finals. Yes, it's a complete experience. If you saw one of these events, by the way, players will arrive around 6 o'clock at the stadium 2 hours before, and they will meet and greet all the fans. So they're going to exit the player bus. So you can find it on the website, but there is a whole storyline around this event from around 5:30, 6 o'clock in the evening until probably 10:30-ish. Yeah. Can I just say one last, because I just want to make sure that, as we talked about organizing events, none of this is possible without the great support of the entire company here, because we work in different directions on many different things. You will never feel comfortable doing new big projects like this and investing as much time and effort unless you feel comfortable with what you're working on. So there's this balance between everyone. So as much as some people are working on this project, everyone is involved. And it's great to see how we managed to do this with the back of a lot of ideas and excitement, turning something into something this quick on such a big scale. I don't think many other companies can do that. So if I was wearing a hat, hats off to the entire team. I love you all, and amazing work. Great. And I'm so proud of this. Wow. So should you be.
Yeah, I'm incredibly proud too. And I can't wait, Raz. I'm really excited. My only prediction, a Nanny Wonder goal, and I will leave you on that note. But I thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Joe. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And thank you to everyone for listening as well.
Thank you for listening to today's iGaming Daily Podcast, supported by Optimove, the #1 CRM marketing solution for the iGaming market. If you want to find out more about some of the subjects raised today, feel free to explore any of the sites in the SBC News network, or check out the latest edition of the SBC Leaders magazine. Happy reading.